la 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 la
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom to our small but mighty crowd here in the Mishkan. It is so lovely to welcome you in person here in our beautiful Mishkan sanctuary and to welcome those who are watching online. And so I was thinking about how in welcoming this Shabbat together on this Canada Day, I wanted to share this welcoming reading by a poet named Sidney Greenberg, which I felt exemplified some of the qualities which we may wish to embody both in our Holy Blossom space and also in this good country as a whole. So for those of you who are joining us in person or online, welcome to this Canada Day Shabbat. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We begin our Kabbalat Shabbat with Yedid Nefesh, an expression of love and friendship, on page 105.
Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, Mishalchavtach El Ritzonach, Mishalchavtach El Ritzonach, Yarut Avtach Kimayal Yishtachaveh Mul Hadarach Ki Erov Lo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuf V'chotam Adonai Ziv Haolam Nafshi Chulat Ahavatach Ana Elna Rifana La Ana Elna La 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 Rifana La Beharod La Noam Zivach Asitchazek La 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 V'tivrapeh V'chaitalach Shivchat Olam V'chaitalach La 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 Shivchat Olam.
I'd like to, as we welcome in the Shabbat and light our candles, I would like to invite Barbara Thol-Hodes and Julie Zelig to light our candles on our right side of the podium, of the bima, and anybody else who would like to light candles this evening. You will see a table of tea lights set up to my left, so you are more than welcome to come as we light Shabbat candles together. And particularly maybe if you have something to celebrate this weekend, whether it's for your family, whether you just haven't been here for a while, we join in the lighting of Shabbat candles together.
Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue with Lechuna Ranana on page 107.
I was just going to mention that while the senior rabbi is away, the family has come to play. So thank you, Adam and Jesse, for accompanying us with beautiful music this evening.
Lai, 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 Top of page 108, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basrim Liyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basrim Liyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, keep singing that. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basrim Liyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basrim Liyom Liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz.
We now jump ahead to one of my personal favorites, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Psalm 92, on page 113, a song of joy for Shabbat.
Mizmor
So excited that I should have said that was Mizmor LeDavid, not Mizmor Shir. We'll get to that. And that was Psalm 29, not 92. Anyway, we'll get there. In the spirit of welcoming, we are now going to turn to the Lachadodi on page 115, and we, of course, know this custom of rising and facing the door to welcome in the presence of Shabbat. And in that spirit of welcoming, though, I thought we would take approximately 30 seconds just to turn to the person next to you or to the person in front of you and just say a very quick Shabbat Shalom and Happy Canada Day before we join back in on page 115.
Good Shabbos. And happy welcome to Canada. Yes. La da 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 la chadodi, la da 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat likabela, shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmeyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem ul tiferet, v'li tilah, la 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 l'chadodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat likabela, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habaracha, merosh mikedem, nesucha, sof ma'aseh, b'machshava tchila, yai yai yai, la 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 l'chadodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat likabela, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, ori ori, shir zaveri, yevod Adonai, alayich yigla, la 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 l'chadodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat, Kabbalat, Boi v'shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam b'simcha, v'sochola, Toch emunei, Am segula, Boi hala, Boi hala, lai lai lai, la 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 chadodi, la 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 likrot kala, la 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat, Kabbalat.
Page 117.
Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lechodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lechodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lechagid baboker chasedecha, ve'emunatcha balelot, alei asar maleiravel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simatani Adonai befoalecha, b'maaseh yadecha aranei, Magadlu maasecha Adonai, me'od amku machshavotecha. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon.
Excuse me. We now turn to page 119 to the Baruch Hu, our call to worship, and we rise.
Lai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai 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 lai
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitfuna meshane itim, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשמנו, פגומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. בשם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We are on page 124 with the Geulah blessing, our blessing for redemption. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone are our God. There is none else, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign. You deliver us from the hands of oppressors and save us from the fists of tyrants. You do wonders without number, marvels that surpass our understanding. You give us our life. By your help we survive all who seek our destruction. You did wonders for us in the land of Egypt, miracles and marvels in the land of Pharaoh. You led your people Israel out, forever to serve you in freedom. When your children witnessed your power, they extolled you and gave you thanks. Willingly they enthroned you, and full of joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang this song.
Ugalom chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
We join together for a prayer for peace, a prayer that teaches us to go to sleep in peace and rise up again in peace, that God may watch over us. We are at the top of page 126. Grant that we may lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war and famine and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful Sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we may have life and peace. Praised are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים Kadash Merabam. Ve'almadi v'rachirutei v'amlich machutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shvei rabba mevarach le'alam olam me'almaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekodesha b'richu le'elam im kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yalma v'imru. Amen. Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol v'Zocher Chasdei Avot u'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham uvokei Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai v'chayei meitim atah Rav Loshia morid hatal mechalkel chayim b'chesed mechayei meitim berachamim rabim somech noflim v'rofei cholim umatir asurim umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bagevurot umidamelach melech meimit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanot l'chachayot meitim Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hameitim Atah kadosh v'shemcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yichalalu chasela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We now take a few moments for the meditations and prayers of our own hearts before joining back together on page 136. With the joy of music in our hearts, we also turn a portion of that joy to thoughts of healing and to blessings of a refuah shlema, a full recovery. And especially on this day, on Canada Day, we think of the healing that needs to occur and that we are working towards in this good country. We acknowledge that Holy Blossom stands on the grounds of many First Nations and on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Haudenosaunee, Ojibwe Chippewa, and the Huron-Wendat peoples. Under the dish with one spoon and two-row wampum belt covenant, many Indigenous nations agreed to peaceably share and care for this land and welcomed others, such as ourselves, to do the same. This land is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples from across Turtle Island, and we think of the work that we still need to do in this country in order to ensure that we are all taking our equal share in caring for this land and expressing gratitude for the ability to gather on it and to strengthen it together. As we turn to the healing of body and soul, we think of those in need of healing within our Holy Blossom Temple family this evening. Johanna Falk, Chana bat Gittel, Sarah Leah bat Moshe Maya v'Naomi, Miriam bat Binyamin v'Sarah Leah, Frida Mama, Joel Sears, Levi Gross, Sima bat Chaim v'Chaye Sarah, Gital Yaakova bat Shmuel v'Sarah, Daniel ben Baruch v'Reza, and David Sandler. And if you'd like to share the name of someone who you are thinking of or who was not included in this list, please feel free to share their name out loud or in your heart as my eyes meet yours. Page 137.
Mi sheberach imotenu b'kol bracha l'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who helps make hope and healing possible. One of my favorite pieces of Talmud is the tale of Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai, who it is said argued with each other for 3 straight years, rivals of the fiercest sort. One said, "The halakha is in accordance with my opinion," and the other said, No, the halakha is in accordance with my opinion." Finally, a divine voice emerges from the heavens and declares, "Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chayim." Both these and these are the words of the living God. This teaching is quintessential to us as Jews. We are a people who treasure debate and who pride ourselves on intellectual analysis to determine multiple opinions on complex questions. The Talmud itself can be thought of as a track record of rabbinic debate. Nonetheless, with the events of last week south of the border, I could not help but look to the parts of our tradition in which we come to realize that some things are simply not up for debate. It is in this context that we will together examine some Jewish texts based on teachings that Rabbi Splansky brought to her Torah study group last week in the wake of this abhorrent decision. It was a decision that I, as a Jew and a woman, personally do not feel should have been debated, and which I think contains lessons for each of us, even here in Canada. Firstly, Jewish tradition always prioritizes the life of the pregnant woman when faced with any danger. That is why Mishnah Ohalot teaches how if a woman or pregnant person, for the sake of our language we will be inclusive, if they are having difficulty giving birth, the child in the womb can and should be cut up, so to speak, and brought forth limb by limb, mipnei shehayecha kodmin lechayav, because their life takes precedent over that of the fetus. This is because the fetus is not actually considered a life before it is born. Life begins at birth, according to the Talmud. Before that, at least for the first 40 days following conception, Tractate Yevamot tells us that it is considered mere fluid. This enables the mother to be considered her own person, allowing her to partake, for example, in sacrificial offerings she is obligated to give. Additionally, in Mishnah Arakin, where, although it sounds morbid, it is instructed to go ahead with executing a pregnant person unless they are already literally in the process of giving birth, because Peshita Gufa, it's her body. Subsequently, we can discern that our tradition frowns unfavorably when we seek to control what is not ours. In our parashah this week, its namesake, Korach, rouses a group of rebels seeking to revolt against Moses and Aaron as he too seeks his place in the priesthood. Korach is told by Moses, Kulam kedoshim, all are holy, so why do you seek to elevate yourself above Adonai's congregation? Although we all have the right to be heard, Korach's attempt to take hold of something that did not belong to him results in failure, and he and his group are swallowed up into the earth, never to be heard from again. In relation to the question of abortion, this is an issue of bodily autonomy. As the one already in this world, the mother or pregnant person is entitled to the protection of their body, and they, with guidance from our tradition, can determine when a line is crossed. The fetus may not be considered a full life until it is established as viable, but the mother sure is. Furthermore, we as Jews are part of a tradition which is endlessly concerned with protecting the vulnerable in general, an injunction that is repeated no less than 36 times in our Torah. For our purposes, this is most especially when the fetus endangers the physical health of the pregnant person. In Talmud Sanhedrin, if the fetus is endangering the mother's life, it is considered a rodef, a dangerous, life-threatening pursuer. Therefore, it may be excised in order to save the mother's life. In the modern day, our care for the vulnerable extends to protecting the mother or pregnant person, even if it is not an exact question of saving their life. For example, both Rabbi Mordechai Winkler in 1913 and Rabbi Cass Abelson, writing in the 1980s, equate mental and physical risk and point to mental anguish as a legitimate reason to terminate a pregnancy. Moreover, in our own reform movement, Chief Executive of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, Rabbi Hara Person, wrote this past week, in response to the decision, of how we as Jews hold dear the value of kavod habriot, or human dignity. For Rabbi Person, it is under this Jewish umbrella that our movement sees comprehensive health care, including reproductive health care, as a key manifestation of this ideal. Back to our original Talmud tale. We are now left with the question of, why was it the opinion of Hillel and not Shammai that Halakha ultimately chose to follow? The Talmud tells us that it was because Beit Hillel was agreeable and forbearing, teaching not only their statements, but also that of Beit Shammai. This graciousness extended to when Beit Hillel formulated their own teachings and cited a dispute, they would first place Beit Shammai's debates before their own, as a show of deference. This Canada Day, as a newcomer, I am becoming aware of some of the challenges surrounding this day and acknowledge them. Yet there is ultimately the corner of my heart that is deeply grateful for the freedoms that this country allows, again, including when it comes to comprehensive medical care and reproductive health, and, as with all challenges, the responsibility that freedom brings when we find ourselves on the side of privilege. Rest assured this evening that Holy Blossom will have a role to play in the difficult time ahead, rebels with a cause, so to speak, as our own expression of gratitude for the freedoms we have here in this good country. Like with all things Jewish, there is a bracha for this, a simple one that we read each morning. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorin. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me a free woman. Shabbat shalom. We turn to the Aleinu, which includes an injunction, litaken et ha'olam, to repair the world, on page 139, and we rise.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, la'tekiru la'liotze breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kichol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'mashav yakaru b'shamayim imol, u'shchinatu zo, b'gavhei meromim. Hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kagatu b'torato, V'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim imol, v'aretz mitachat ein od. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech
seated, even if for a moment. As we turn to page 142 as we enter our mourner's Kaddish, and we invite those who are in a traditional period of mourning or who are marking a yahrzeit to please rise, that we may be in community and solidarity with you. And we, together with the rest of our Holy Blossom Temple family this evening, mark the yahrzeit of the following: Marlene Bloom, Max Bloom, Shirley Bonin, Gay Bones, Anne Bregman, Charlotte Brody, Sylvia Burns, Mary Cohen, Charles Cohen, Harris Cohen, Sydney Koopman, Jacob Davis, Lorne Dunkelman, Shirley Firestone, Maya Florence, Abe Garson, Ladislav Gartner, Morris Greenbaum, Shirley Gula, Irving Handelman, Carl Hendeles, Morris Canoff, Morris Killam, Joel Levine, Mildred Laxton, Dora Lifsitz, Vivian Manny, Lena Meltz, Marsha Papernick, Charles Rifleman, Irene Reese, Lionel Raw, Philip Rosenberg, Florence Rother, Irving Rubin, Rose Shirkin, Jack Silverman, Philip Simmons, Valentine Waldman, Stanley Wiegand, Frank Weinstock, and Harry Zelig. We also commemorate tonight the names of those who have died most recently and whose families are in a period of shloshim: Carol Ruth Arbess, Susan Chayton, Charles Cohen, Fern Data, Sally Libman, Veronica Mandel, Valerie Packer, Peter Seymour, Charles Tabachnik, and Barry Zelichov. And if there are any names that you wish to add or which I have mispronounced and we can correct them together, please feel free to add them as my eyes meet yours. If it is your custom to rise, we rise on page 142 for the mourner's Kaddish, and we read together. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, b'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shmei dekudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Can be found on page 439. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron ma'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techilal mikrai kodesh, zeicher letziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidasha, mikohanim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Cantor Rosen and Joel, would you like to come and lead us in Hamotzi, please? Especially Joel, exactly.
Whoops. Okay. 5 seconds. Okay, here, go on. La 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 Shabbat Shalom. La 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and virtual land. And thank you to Adam and Jesse Saw.
Yay!
Let's go.
Shalom, nice to see you. I'm Rabbi Leslie Carroll, I'm the new assistant rabbi here.